Hello, hello. Welcome to the 41st episode of the Veggies Abroad Vegan Travel Podcast with the chief veggie pusher, myself, Rebecca Gade Sawicki. Some of you may already be familiar with Veggies Abroad, but for those of you who aren't, we're a full-service vegan travel company that offers custom planning services, small group trips, a helpful blog chock full of just about everything a vegan or veg-curious traveler could possibly need, and this podcast. With this podcast, I aim to amplify the voices of businesses championing vegan and vegan-friendly options, responsible tourism practices, the environment, and community impact. Things that we need more of and we must actively support. So I could go on and on about how great our tours are, and I'm pretty sure I have in most of these podcast episodes, and tell you why you're missing out, what makes everything so special, why specific destinations are so great. But I mean, of course, you expect me to say all of this, right? So instead of me recapping our Iceland tour, I've brought on a lovely couple who joined us for the very first time. Not only was this their first trip with us, but they're both not vegan. Maybe you're surprised. I actually get a decent number of non-vegans on trips, and I love it. Probably surprised about that too. I think that these trips are an excellent way for someone to test out new things that maybe they wouldn't on their own in a really supportive environment. I've also gotten a lot of questions from non-vegans and their traveling partners about if they'll feel left out or endlessly bullied for not being vegan. The answer is absolutely not. That's not the environment that I want to cultivate. And to be honest, whoever decided to make a change after being bullied into it, nobody. Also, the vast majority of people weren't born being conscious about what they're eating, me included. So we really have no room for judgment. Instead, we should offer the same support that maybe we wish we would have received when we first started our journey. Seems like a valid thing to consider, right? But enough about what I think. Let's hear from Ashley and Nathan about their first experience on a vegan tour and to Iceland. Nathan and Ashley, thank you so much for joining me. It is lovely to see you both again.
Happy to be here. I didn't expect to be talking to you again so soon.
I know. Well, I missed you both so much that I thought I have to figure out another way to have them in my life again.
And here we are.
Yes, that's just your personalities. They're so lovely.
This is a lot easier than us paying a lot of money to come see you. So
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I mean, does that mean you were thinking about coming to Detroit?
I think he meant like trip. On another trip.
Oh, another trip. Oh, man.
No, you're not that special. We're not coming to Detroit for you.
Damn it. I thought we were almost there. Okay, we'll work on another trip. We can talk about that after.
Yeah.
But Iceland.
Yeah.
You guys enjoyed it. Yeah, obviously.
Incredible.
You're talking to me again about it, so that is an excellent sign.
Yeah.
First things first, we can chat about our itinerary. We covered a lot. We started in Reykjavík, and we covered the entire ring road, which was over 1,300 kilometers. I don't think we actually ever said that in the group, how many kilometers or miles we were covering, which is 825 miles. Plus, we did make a few extra stops. And I think that kind of provided a really great overview for the country. But you guys tell me, what was your first impression of Iceland? What did you think?
So we came into Reykjavík a couple of days early. So our first impression was just of Reykjavík, wandering around downtown, kind of the more like, I guess, touristy parts of the city. Spent the entire first day tracking down cats in all the stores and taking pictures.
Terrific. You didn't share all those cat pictures. Now
great
you're gonna
first
have to
impression.
Catch me up. That is really great.
For me, I don't know. First impression, it was just like we got on. You take the fly bus, 45 minutes, and I was like, did we just sign on to a week in a desolate wasteland of a country?
I think I thought the same thing when I first got there, too.
Yeah. The lack of vegetation is so surprising. Especially because we live in a very green part of the United States. Like, trees everywhere. Driving down the highway, it's just mountains, trees, and then, little glimpses of our city. So, landing in Iceland, and it's just flat rocks. Maybe some moss was kind of landing in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it is. It's unlike, I'd say, just about anywhere in the world, really. Why did you guys want to go to Iceland in the first place?
So I feel like we kind of went into it a little backwards. I get the urge every so often to search for like trips, like things for vegans to do, vegan-friendly resorts. I feel like at the time I was looking for like all-inclusive resorts that were vegan-friendly, and then of course I started getting a ton of vegan travel ads, and you were one of them.
Thank you, Google, for doing something
right.
good.
Instagram too. Got it.
Oh yes, yes, Instagram. Yep. Too. I pay all of them.
Yes, the timeline, it got to me. So I go to the website. I see all these tours that you offer. Portugal was listed at the time. Costa Rica was listed. I think Thailand was listed at the time, and Iceland was listed. And I go to Nathan. I'm like, these look cool, right? And he was just like, sure, whatever. I was like, I think we should go to Iceland. That looks really interesting. Like, I was scrubbing through the itineraries, like, what looks the coolest that we can do? And the itinerary that you had for Iceland was like, well, that seems fun. Definitely something we wouldn't even want to try to do on our own. Like, it's such a big trip. So yeah, that's why we wanted to go to Iceland, because it was there.
I love that.
Really, it could have been any trip that you offered. It just happened to be Iceland. We were signing up for one of them regardless.
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. It was, Ashley brought me the short list, and the thing that caught my attention was like, oh, we don't have to plan a vacation, and we don't have to think about vegan eating spots. Like, we went to a all-inclusive, quote, vegan-friendly resort a while back, thinking that it was going to be this real relaxing experience, and even that was still like
so stressful.
Oh no!
More stress than we wanted. And
yeah, because it is one of those places where it's like, well, they say this is vegan, but I don't think it's really vegan, or this is marked vegetarian, but I think it's vegan. So it wound up like not being as vegan friendly as expected. And so like the idea of, okay, this Rebecca person is going to handle all of that for us, and all we have to do is book our flights and show up. That sounds perfect. Yeah. I've never gone into a vacation knowing less about what I was going to be doing. And that was just like the coolest thing.
That's amazing. I don't think you guys told me that during the trip. Wow. Yeah. You put a lot of trust into me. Thank you.
Well, yeah. It worked out.
It worked out really well. Yeah.
We're all here still to tell the tale.
Yeah. 100% could have been a scam, but it was honestly, I think, the best vacation we've ever taken.
Oh, and I didn't even pay you guys to say that.
No.
You're the best.
Yeah.
Oh, so is now a good time to discuss like our cut in this episode?
Yeah. We'll add that to the end, along with your next trip. So prior to Instagram infiltrating your minds, had Iceland ever popped up in your searching, or were you ever was it ever on your short list, or just because you saw it and you're like, this looks cool?
I had a friend who visited Iceland a couple years ago. So I had heard of it being like a vacation destination, but other than that, for me, no.
Yeah, and for me, I am not much of a traveler, really. I think Ashley kind of pushes the two of us into traveling a lot, which is great, because otherwise I would just sit around doing nothing. So I don't really have a vacation short list of places I really want to go, but...
You're just open to go wherever Ashley wants to go, huh?
Yep.
He really is.
Amazing, Ashley.
Just drag me along. I'm here for the ride.
Our last vacation before this was to London, and I came to him, I was like, I want to go to England. We can do South England or North England. And he helped me narrow it down between that. That was as much input as he had.
Oh my God, awesome. Best traveling partner ever.
he doesn't really plan much.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and
A lot
Ashley's
of
glossing
planning
over the
falls to me.
arguments of, you need to plan something in this trip.
Okay, I'm familiar with those arguments, but we'll continue to gloss. What I think is more interesting that may come to as a surprise to some is that you're both not vegan. Dun dun dun.
Mm-hmm.
So Nathan, I'm going to put you
me.
on. It's not you. No, it's not lovely Ashley. Ashley is perfect in every way. Yes, exactly. Nathan, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Were you worried about going on a vegan tour?
Without a doubt, yeah. I think I hid it from Ashley a little bit.
Okay. I was worried for him.
Oh God.
Oh, she was worried for me, and,
yeah.
and I tried to play it down, but like, I have always been a bit of a picky eater.
Really?
So that
you can count on one hand the vegetables he ate before we started dating. Less than one hand.
Oh no, Nathan, that's not good.
Yeah. And so yeah, just that, like, I try to be as open as possible to all types of food, but just coming from that background, I'm like, is this going to be too big of a reach for me? Because there's just some foods that like really, oh yeah, like beans and peas really set me off.
Like set you off in a good way or in a bad way?
No, bad way. Like peas kind of like make me gag a little bit sometimes. Sorry to throw that out there, but like,
I'm so glad that I know this now. You probably shouldn't have told me.
Well, just actually eating them. So, just waving some peas in front of my face isn't. No, that's not going to do it.
You never know where peas might show up next time.
But just kind of, I don't know. All of that's kind of swirling in my head when we were thinking about doing this, and it's like, I don't know. You just got to get out of your comfort zone sometimes and see what works. So,
that is excellent.
And I'm super glad we kind of took the leap and gave it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you more worried about the food part of it, or the group part of it, or both parts of it?
I would say both. For me, more the food part. The group aspect. This was our first group trip, and we're kind of not the most extroverted, so.
That's a very nice way of saying it.
I don't know that anyone will believe you after listening to this, actually.
Me, at least. I feel like I've seen some of the same things in Nathan. We don't go out of our way to talk to people, but if someone starts a conversation with us, we're in it. Like, cool, let's talk, let's hang out. Mm-hmm. It's that meeting that's hard, and we just kind of avoid it. So I was definitely anxious about the people. I will say we got very lucky with our group. I think
you guys are a wild group.
Everybody got along so well from the very beginning, and even the ones that weren't quite as outgoing were very natured about the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, that was the best way to put it.
There was a lot of big personalities on this trip, and I'm surprised that there wasn't, a big clash at the end.
No, thank God.
But yeah, like that idea of, you're stuck on this 9-day trip with 15 strangers. If you don't like someone, too bad.
Yeah, it could be really rough for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely like on my mind leading up to it. But I think the biggest thing was just Nathan and the food. I was like, I know I can eat and I'll be happy with whatever we're fed. But like Nathan, I don't know about him. But
which is funny because every other trip prior to this, it's been reversed.
The reverse. Oh my gosh.
It's like, I'm just constantly like, for me, finding vegan spots is very difficult because it has to be a combination of something that's vegan and then something that actually sounds good to Ashley. So I can't just be like, oh, here's a place with a vegan option. So it kind of like puts the burden on her. And then I'm just like, I'll go anywhere. Just tell me somewhere that we can go. It doesn't matter if they have food I like. I'll just find something.
So, in the end, was the food as bad as you thought it was going to be?
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
The only night that I was really concerned about, Nathan, was the night that we just had, like, that chickpea soup thing.
Oh,
and
really?
That was a bit much.
Oh,
we
yeah,
were
that's a lot of
sitting there
beans.
eating it, and I was like, I keep seeing Nathan eat mouthfuls of this. Like, okay, cool. I didn't expect that. I thought he was going to starve tonight.
Oh, I wish I would have known your hatred of beans ahead of time. I would have given you extra cake. Should have told me.
No, it was pretty good.
All right. Hey, that's great.
That was probably my least favorite night, I will say that, but
There was a lot of other really, really good food to make up for it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's really great because I really prefaced this Iceland trip of like, don't have high expectations of the food because the country is not known for its culinary expertise. So I was really pleased when you guys were like, no, hey, it's pretty good. Not bad.
Hey, we ate a lot of soup, but it was really good soup.
Oh, yeah. I am not
soups.
a soup person, and that soup was fantastic.
It was. It really was. I'm not a big soup person either. And I did feel very similarly. Were there certain things you guys were expecting to get out of a trip like this?
I tried to come into it with like as much of an open mind as possible. Especially because like, you know, we looked at the itinerary when we booked it. And then, you know, we had our pre-trip meeting that we kind of talked about the stuff that we were going to be doing. But other than that, I kind of let myself forget what was going on. It was like a little surprise every day. Like, oh, we're going whale watching today? Cool. Love that for us.
Love that for us.
So, like, I didn't really expect anything out of the trip. I expected not to starve. And not to have to worry about starving. And I expected to see some really cool stuff. And check. Like, perfect. Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you, Nathan?
Well, it's funny because we didn't really talk about that beforehand. Mm-hmm. And we haven't talked about it since. But now it just feels like she's stealing my answer. I totally just went into it. Yeah, like, I'm just going to wake up each day and see what we're going to do. And... just really experience it, and honestly that happened. I feel like that worked out more than any other vacation than we've ever taken. I felt like we were able to just experience the trip more and not constantly be worried about, oh, we have this thing booked later, are we going to make it on time, or where are we going to eat, or you know, all that type of stuff.
Left all that worrying
it let us be
to
in
you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That is my job. So
we outsourced it.
Would you say it kind of that actually was really a true vacation then? Because you just got to show up.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
for sure.
That's a pretty nice
we
perk.
just got to be in the moment. It was special. That made it special.
That's a really great way to describe it for sure. I always try and get people to plan my trips, but I still can't find anybody.
I'll plan a trip for you.
Oh, terrific.
You won't like it, but I'll plan it.
Wow, that's a really good, really great way to sell it, actually. Let me pay you now. So back with the food, I think our best options were probably in the capital, which is Reykjavík. And you guys had extra time before the whole group got together. What did you think about the vegan options throughout the city? Did you have favorite things?
I thought it was surprising that, so like, I'm kind of comparing it to where we live at home, just because that's what I know, you know. When we eat out here, I'll be lucky if there's like an Impossible burger on the menu or like a salad on the menu. But like a lot of restaurants we looked at, granted we were getting recommendations from a vegan group, so I can't really say. But like even the non-vegan restaurants we went to had so many vegan options. So that was really cool. As far as favorites go in Reykjavík, it's got to be that cheesecake we had at Mama Reykjavík.
Oh yeah, that was
I'm a big
really tasty.
sweets person, and that cheesecake was to die for. It was so good.
I actually was like
really
on our last day, I was like, I wonder if I have time to go over there and get more cheesecake.
I would have eaten an entire cheesecake.
It was that good.
So good.
Oh, Nathan, what about you?
Well, so the first thing that surprised me, just going off of what Ashley said, with the surprising amount of vegan options, like we went to the Sky Lagoon the first day that we were there, and they just had like small like cheese platters and stuff like that, but they had a specific vegan cheese platter
with vegan cheese.
They did? I totally missed it. No way.
Yeah.
At the Sky Lagoon?
Yes.
Get out of town.
That was really surprising.
I can't say that I had that. I let Ashley have that one, and I just got a separate one for me. But
it was tasty?
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
She was actually pleasantly surprised.
Well, because you'd think, okay, somewhere like the Sky Lagoon, like the food isn't their selling
it's going to be the last
whatever,
thought.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think about eating there.
So to not only have a vegan option there, but for it to be like vegan cheese, like that's something they would have had to, because it wasn't just like slices of
Violife,
right? Or Daya or something like that.
Like it was like a legitimate like artisan vegan cheese. So to not only have the vegan option, but then to have something like that, I was like, oh, that's
someone
a
put thought
pleasant
into
surprise.
This.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, very, very thoughtful. That place was really terrific. Hey there, fantastic listeners. Let's hit pause on this episode for a thrilling announcement, a golden ticket to Globetrot with Veggies Abroad. Veggies Abroad isn't just your go-to for vegan guides and trip planning tips. It's your passport to extraordinary small group journeys, carefully crafted by the ultimate veggie pusher and your favorite podcast host, me, Rebecca Gade Sawicki. I've spent countless hours researching the best vegan hotels, food, and experiences, and now I'm bringing those experiences directly to you. Join me and my newfound veggie pals on escapades to exotic and exciting destinations around the world, whether it's trekking through the Thai jungle to witness elephants in their natural habitat or exploring Iceland's famous ring road. Our adventures are nothing short of spectacular, and guess what? Those aren't the only exciting trips awaiting you. So what are you waiting for? Cruise on over to veggiesabroad.com pronto. Well, how about after this episode is over to explore our dazzling lineup of tours and secure your spot today. And then in the north, the other larger city in Iceland is Akureyri. And we all had a little bit of free time. And you guys went and checked out a food hall, right?
Yeah.
You found multiple things there, I think.
Yes. So what surprised me about that, we kind of checked out the food hall that we ate at in Reykjavík. Like the food hall we ate at in Reykjavík at the end, we checked it out at the beginning of the trip. And that was just kind of like a standalone thing. So this food hall that we went to in Akureyri was just in a mall. It was like a mall food court, which was interesting. Mm-hmm. Because it's definitely not like a mall food court that you would find in the U.S.
Interesting.
Like
okay.
The food was all really...
It was very fancy. It was so delicious.
It was so good. I got a vegan pizza, and it had like artichoke hearts and mushrooms and pistachios. And
oh, wow.
It didn't seem like something that would work. Truly, but it was so good, and every little like stall in the food hall had some sort of vegan option that was like a really good vegan option. I've never been so spoiled for choice before.
Yeah, right. And you like don't expect it in a country that one has no vegetation, imports all of its food,
right,
and is famous for, I think it's a cod stew. It's like these aren't great selling points for vegans and vegan options.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a pretty cool little we did wind up going off on our own for that one. And Yeah, it was really worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody found different things. Part of the group went to a Thai place. Another part, God, where did they go? A couple of them went to bakeries. I'm not sure what happened with the rest. They all ventured into different parts of this little town, and this town is not large for people listening. So you can't go too far, but you all found different things in different places.
Yeah, I think we went the furthest corner that we possibly could have, and it was like a 10-15 minute walk.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's good. I mean, you can find stuff everywhere. So this was your first group adventure, which is an interesting aspect of just traveling in itself, but that it was a full group of vegans adds to it as well. Do you feel like either of you or both of you, do you feel like that enhanced or changed maybe your experience?
Funny enough, I think it kind of enhanced things, especially just like the vegan aspect. It added just a immediate common point.
Yeah.
For everybody. Like the first dinner we had together, I feel like every conversation started with, when did you become vegan? Which is, of course, fun for me, saying I'm not vegan.
Yeah, it puts you right on the spot. Everyone's like, okay, we're going to watch this guy now.
Yeah.
You're on our list.
Yeah. Get the sidelong stare. Yeah.
But like, I thought, one, just traveling with a group in general was a lot cooler than I expected it to be. Like, there was a lot of, had we been driving that 800 something miles, just the two of us, it would have been pretty boring. Sorry, Nathan, I love you, but
that's a lot of bonding time.
That's a lot of
this is
car
coming
time.
From the girl that just sleeps in the passenger seat. My little passenger princess.
So, like, having other people around to, like, make conversation with, and I still hear the haunting waterfalls in my dreams. Every time we pass a waterfall, like, someone was making sure we were seeing that waterfall.
Yeah.
So, like, just those little, moments driving kept things interesting. Hearing the random stories from our guide while he was driving, or, the karaoke parties that we were having on the van. Nothing to do with being vegan, but, like, I think those were kind of, like, the cool parts of being on a group trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just that, like, camaraderie, kind of passing the time together. But then all of us being vegan was nice, because we'd stop at a grocery store or at a gas station and, oh, what did you find? What food did you find? Oh, where'd you get that snack from? Ooh, that's vegan? I had no idea that was vegan. That's so cool. And there was a lot of snacking going on.
There was so much. You guys were like crazy snackers. I could not.
We'd get back on the bus and snacks would just start circulating the bus. Yeah.
I was shocked with the amount of food you guys all took down. Like, it was incredible. One of the ladies is quite petite, and one of the other guys came out to me and he was like, where is she hiding all of this food? Does she have like a hollow leg? Like, it's amazing. I wondered it too, because it felt like I couldn't keep up with you guys and your need for snacks.
Yeah, well, I will say come dinner time most nights, it's kind of like, am I hungry? I don't know.
Okay, good to know that. The next time I'll give a warning of you might be ruining your dinner, so maybe no more snacks.
Don't spoil your dinner.
Yeah.
We really are just a bunch of children.
You said it. I didn't. I think that's actually an interesting point that we didn't bring up, is that the food options at rest areas is pretty incredible. And we stopped for lunch at one, and I think a bunch of you got vegan burgers. There was way too many French fries consumed as well. Sandwiches.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool stop. Definitely not the type of gas station you would see here. No. I mean, we have like a Buc-ee's or a Sheetz or whatever that have food like that, but these are like full restaurants. Like, you could get a handmade smoothie.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. And it wasn't like all like day old taquitos spinning on the wheel that you're like, I don't think I should eat that. It's
or
not
like
safe.
microwaved breakfast sandwiches, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's always a big surprise for people. They're like, oh my God, they have options at the gas station that I can eat? Crazy.
Yeah. I think a lot of, at least for me, a lot of the snacking came from your warning that some of the food would be more simple.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner tonight, so I should stuff it in while
Iceland.
I can.
Get all the snacks we can. Unless it's seaweed. I might have nightmares about that seaweed that went around the bus. That stuff was terrible.
I smelled it and knew it would just taste like the ocean. It
was
smelled like
rubber.
fish food, really, to me.
I was expecting it to be like, crispy nori sheets are
me too.
Pretty popular snack here.
Mm-hmm.
But that was...
They weren't crispy. They weren't nori-like. They were just terrible.
You ate a decent amount of it, though.
Yeah, there's a photo somewhere that has since been deleted that will never see the light of day again.
As far as you know.
Yeah. Oh, God, no. That feels like a threat. Nathan, if another omnivore came to you and was like, should I do this tour? Like, what do you think? What would you tell them?
Without a doubt, yes, you should do it. It's an easy yes. I mean, as long as you have an open mind to, it's not like veganism is going to be shoved down your throat or anything. You're just going to have some great plant-based meals, and more than likely you're going to enjoy them as long as you kind of have the right mindset about it and everything.
That's awesome. Well, from there, we haven't talked anything really about all of the things that you saw, so we can touch on those. We saw a lot, covered a lot. What were some of the highlights for both of you?
Well, if you look at my camera roll, the highlights, cats, puffins, so many pictures of puffins. Yeah. I think we really lucked out with the puffins. Like, that was the perfect time to go. Whales. Whale watching was incredible.
Crazy. Yes.
We lucked out and saw so many whales. We saw an Arctic fox. We saw a baby reindeer. Sweet little baby reindeer. Got to meet a bunch of Icelandic horses.
We really covered all.
Just naming every animal we see.
Yes, you know what? That's my highlights and that's my truth.
Just sticking to it.
Even the someone's pet dog that was hanging out at that hot spring that we stopped at. I got pictures of that dog on my phone.
Did you get the dog's name though?
We did at the time, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, so sad.
I know.
I just remember it carried around a rock to be thrown.
Oh my God, that dog. That dog was crazy. Yes, obsessed with rocks. I don't know that I've met a dog quite like it before.
There were those two labs at the other restaurant that we went to that had the reindeer. Mm-hmm. They were they were chasing rocks too.
So one of the people from Icelandic our group, dogs and rocks that they need
Iceland
more stimulation.
They don't have balls, I guess.
I've gotten tennis balls. Maybe that will be our next gift to the dogs of Iceland, tennis balls. Here, please save your teeth. Use a tennis ball. Oh my gosh. Nathan, what were some of your favorite parts? Sights.
Oh, geez. I think I really remember like the first day we just got outside of Reykjavík and we stopped at the first kind of waterfall area. Barnafoss, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just, I don't know. That was like the perfect opener for me. I was like, wow, okay, this is going to be a special trip. Like, unless it's just all downhill after this.
Never know. There are 8 more days after that.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
and then from there we went to Snæfellsjökull National Park. I probably butchered that.
Hey, it was pretty close.
But there, that's where we saw the Arctic fox that Ashley mentioned. We all had fun lifting those heavy stones to see if we could be fishermen. I felt like that was a good icebreaker. Like, everybody had a lot of fun trying to pick those up. At least the guys did.
And we all felt like it was rigged. It was not fair.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
Those rocks needed handles.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this isn't realistic.
And then just that beach area, I think it was just as beautiful. Like, I know a lot of people talk about, well, there's kind of the black sand beach on like the south coast that we stopped in the last day. But to me, that first beach that we stopped at was just as beautiful.
I think part of the reason that the first beach compared to the last beach, also, I think the first beach we stopped at was maybe a little not necessarily off the path, but not like
there weren't really
top
other
10
there.
things to see in Iceland. Yes. You know, it wouldn't have shown up on one of those lists. So we kind of had the beach to ourselves, and it was very like scenic and serene. And then you got a bunch of yokels slinging rocks around.
Yeah, that was well, you tell me. You did get two kinds of sides of Iceland. We avoided some of the very popular tourist areas, but you did see some of them in the south coast. But then we spent a lot of time where it was kind of just our group or just a handful of other people. Did you guys notice that difference and like feel the change once we came into places that were busier, even though we didn't announce that, like, hey, there'll be more people here?
Yeah, so I think the two biggest things for me on the trip that I'm like, I'm going to remember that, besides like puffins and whale watching, like those are automatically memorable. But we stopped, Christian, our guide, just whipped off the road. We all thought that he was swerving to not hit something in the road, and then he just gets out and we're like, oh my gosh, is he okay? Is he sick?
Sorry, for some context, this was a windy gravel kind of mountainous
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
And then he gets out and opens the door, so we all just kind of get out, and there's this beautiful waterfall and river that we were the only ones there. We all stopped. We got to put our feet in. Freezing cold water. Crazy. Like, of course it's freezing. It's the Arctic, but
but it was 70 degrees.
It was so warm. So, yeah, just like we stopped and we hung out. There wasn't really you have to see this thing, and we were just stopping to relax. We got to see the cool the moss there. I don't remember exactly what type of moss it was, but like it looks dead, and then you put water on it and it immediately turns green. We experimented with that. And just like these like weird little things that you wouldn't think, I'm going to do this in Iceland on my vacation. That was so cool and so memorable, and that 2 hours of time or however long it was is going to be something that like can't be beat. And the other thing is the waterfall at the end of our trip that we got to walk behind.
Oh, yes, and you all got soaked.
Yes, where all the tourists were.
Yeah.
There's definitely a difference between those two stops, but they were both so memorable and so unique and so Iceland in two very different but similar. They're both waterfalls. Two very different ways. Both I'm going to remember. Both I'm always going to be like stoked that we got to experience, and I will forever laugh about two of our group members going all the way around and getting absolutely soaked, who I would not have expected to do that.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. That was a fun surprise. They were not turning down any opportunity for adventure.
Yeah, I wasn't even brave. I saw it had to have been like a foot deep puddle basically, that people were having to walk through to get all the way around the waterfall. I was like, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Here's where I stop.
Yeah. So, like, two very different experiences, but both were very cool.
That's awesome.
There was one last kind of special moment for me that for no real particular reason other than just it was so kind of out of the realm of what you see in the US. I think it was like the second or third day we were going up north. We were kind of going through a lot of those tunnels, and it was like we came out of a mountain tunnel. It may have been one of those one-way tunnels where there's cars coming the other way. You're just staring at headlights and you're playing chicken, which Christian always won. I got to give him props for that. But it was just like we came out of a tunnel to the seaside town, and like you look, I don't know, the town's maybe half a mile wide, because then right next to it is just a mountain face that has, avalanche fences, because it's so steep. To me, that was just such an incredible area, just having the ocean right there, the mountains, and I think that was my favorite stop that we had.
Yeah, we were really tucked into the community there as well. There's like 2 hotels in the whole town. We took over pretty much one of them. There were like kids playing ball or something outside of the one.
Oh yeah, the kids had these inflatable balls.
I'm so jealous.
Put on themselves and just ran into each other. I think they were trying to knock each other over.
I didn't.
We watched that from our hotel room, just in somebody's backyard. That was fun.
Yeah, it was like a different experience. Like when you talk about being in a city or a town, like you were really in this town, and there's not much going on in this town. It's like pretty quaint. You are absolutely a part of the fabric of the community. And that same place too. I don't know if you guys experienced it that morning. There was a slight earthquake. Did you feel it?
We noticed it.
Probably slept right through that. I think the night before we had done that like midnight hike up to the very top of. Oh my gosh, that was exhausting. Right before we did the hike the next day.
Your pictures were good though, so I guess it was worth it.
It was worth it. It was very cool to see that tiny little town from basically as high as we could get. But geez, was that hike straight up. It didn't have to be. That was just the way we went.
Oh no.
We said, hey, look, it's a path up. And it was just a path up.
Up.
Oof.
So yeah, probably slept through that earthquake.
Well, it was there. I'll regale you with the tale of just feeling it. It felt like a truck going by, and that was it.
Interesting.
Yes, so many interesting things about Iceland. That is for sure. Would you return, either of you, to Iceland?
Definitely, I think so. I mean, we were kind of flirting with the idea of like, do we want to move here?
No way, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we thought it was incredible, especially Reykjavík. I've been having trouble explaining the feeling that I got from Reykjavík to people since we got back. But I feel like the best way I can put it is it's like a very small town, but it has very big city vibes. Like it has such a interesting downtown area, but as soon as you leave that area, it's just a beautiful small town.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can find that in like the US or probably anywhere.
It's different. Yeah.
In the world, because you have to put up with living in Iceland to be there. So it's like, yeah.
You've got to be tough, that's for sure. And you guys did like it so much that you actually memorialized your time with tattoos.
We did.
Oh, we did, yep.
Yeah.
I'm super impressed about that. Like, you did not waste any time getting it done on the last day.
3 tattoos while I was there.
Did you do it all on the final day?
No, so when we got back to Reykjavík, we had that like afternoon between lunch and dinner. We did the tour with the group in the morning of Reykjavík, and then we kind of all went off on our own. And the first day that it was just me and Nathan hanging out, we were walking around downtown, and there's a lot of tattoo shops. I mean, a touristy kind of place, there's going to be tattoo shops. They're going to have a lot of flash hanging in the windows. They're going to accept walk-ins. Like, that's the nature of a tourist town. And I had jokingly told Nathan, unbeknownst to him, I had already been, like, Googling tattoo artists.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Months before our trip. Had decided against doing it, but then we were walking around, and I was like, we should get matching tattoos. Ha 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 ha. You know? So then when we got back and we were walking back around downtown again, waiting for dinner, Nathan was like, let's get matching tattoos.
And Nathan, this
you
was your
got
first
it, buddy.
tattoo.
No, she instigated it. She said the whole, let's get tattoos, ha ha ha, wink wink. And I said, sure, why not?
But it was your first one, right?
But yeah, it was my first.
Wow. I mean, that says a lot about Iceland. Your first tattoo. And it's also
and for
something
everybody listening, I would not recommend
significant.
getting it on your ankle. Not a great location for your first tattoo, probably.
Oh, no. Because of the pain
little
or
painful.
because of like the rubbing of your hiking boots or what?
Oh, no. Just painful. Just painful.
Oh, okay.
Right over the bone.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's really one way to do it. That's for sure. So
I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well jump in the deep end, I guess.
I
don't know that you jumped in the deep end, but sure.
I think there are probably other deep ends in the tattoo world, but we'll let you have it since it's your first.
Coming from the girl that just got 3.
She really wanted to remember this trip, so I mean, kudos to her. She loves Reykjavík more than you do, or Iceland maybe in general.
Well, I'd scheduled a tattoo with an artist that I found on Instagram. I was like, I really like her work. This is really cool. And she had this tarot card flash that, it's the Hermit, which is hilarious to me, going on this group trip with a bunch of people. Like, yeah, I'm a hermit. And then Nathan wanted to get tattoos. I was like, well, I'm not going to let you get a tattoo alone. So I had to get a tattoo with him.
So the $1 million question for you both. Would you go on another vegan tour again?
Yes.
Before we even left Iceland, we were like, what other tours does Rebecca have coming?
Oh.
I think multiple people were asking you that. It's
yeah.
What? Yeah.
Some of you were WhatsApping me privately to try and nab spots on things as well, too. It was very cute. And obviously I couldn't be happier. Well, that is great. And I am super happy to hear that. And I'm so glad that you guys were willing to come and chat and share about your wonderful experience in Iceland. And I hope that other people find it helpful. And also, I'm sure you'll have fans now that are probably going to be like, are Nathan and Ashley going to be on that trip? They seem fun.
Probably.
Absolutely would.
We're pretty cool people, so it wouldn't surprise me if people wanted to go on a trip with us.
Absolutely. You might be my next influencers then to bring more people in. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much again. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. If you'd also like to learn more about upcoming Veggies Abroad tours or get additional travel help, visit veggiesabroad.com and also join our newsletter. It's the best way to stay up to date with loads of new content, like where to find gorgeous vegan hotels, what to eat in cities around the world, trip planning tips, and so much more. Well, that's all I've got for now. Until next time.